G'day everyone, welcome back to another episode. So this week I'm going to get this thing done. I want the hard dodger all done, ground up, painted. So not going to keep talking, let's get straight into it. I've just finished grinding all the hard dodger. It's now prepped ready for painting. So I ran a bit of a flapper disc over it to just neaten up any lumps and bumps. There's some nice straight lines here. So that's ready to get some paint on, but before I do that, I've got to make my way into the cockpit here. I'm going to prep these areas here. We've got some lumps out. Get them all dressed back so that we can put some new steps in there. And lastly, I want to get to this little piece here to weld in. So better get back to it. So as you can see, that last job was a little bit dirty, so I may have to wash up a bit, but we did get these steps all ground nice and flush. So we took all those excess welds off, and same as that side, it's all prepped, ready for the new steps to go in. Nice big triangular piece in here, but it's going to be boxed in with a little hatch that can open up. We could store our winch handles in there, a couple of extra ropes, all little bits and pieces we don't want floating around, can be stored in these little boxes. I do have to grind this back. This was done with a gasless MIG, so you can see the welds aren't too bad, but it splatters a lot more. You don't get as good penetration, so that's why I swapped over to the gas. It still turned out alright. So I've still got to grind that entire weld down. I've run out of grinding discs. This is my last one, not very big, so I've got to get some more. So my last job I could get onto would be this little strip that gets welded in here. So I'm going to start prepping a piece to go in that, and that might be it for today until I get some more grinding discs. So I've just finished cutting out the shapes for my steps. They're going to fit in just like this. So it's boxed in. Before we had those sharp corners here, which is just a square edge, and then having a sharp square edge here meant that you're going to be able to like knock your leg or like cut yourself open on it on both sides. So this is all going to be welded up fully enclosed so that you can stand on there, and eventually sometime I'll put a little small hatch in that so that that little enclosed area can be a little compartment for your winch handles or maybe an extra rope or something. So we're going to get to welding that up. I've also done this side, it's all marked out. What I have done also is I've cut out a couple of strips, because though this is only 3mm plate and this is 5mm plate, I'm a bit worried that that may bow at some stage, and if it bows it may crack some paint. I don't want that to happen, so I've cut these out. This strip is going to get welded in on the halfway point. So on this side, it's going to go underneath, and that's going to give a little bit more support for the weight of anyone stepping on that little plate. So no bowing, no warping, and a lot of structural support going inside that little compartment. So weld these in first, then I'm going to weld the top plate in and then the side plate. I just finished. It was a lot of work, but I got all the welding and grinding done. So got a little spot there welded in, got all the steps all nicely trimmed up, and I've done a bit of a clean up because I'm going to do a paint job now. So it's blowing a gale, so hopefully the paint's going to come out all right, but it's just a holding coat just to keep this all nice and protected while we're working on the boat, and then right at the end we'll give it another clean up, maybe with the blaster, give it another proper undercoat, tire coat and top coat. So I'm going to get to painting. Well, I finished up getting it all painted. I did run out of paint and the wind was blowing that much. It was blowing half of it off my brush and making a mess everywhere. But basically, we got all the inside painted. All the bits that I had welded in, like that strip down the bottom, got steps all primed up. So they're looking good. All the little pillars all painted. And it's on there pretty thick. It was drying quicker than I can paint it because of the wind, but she's looking pretty good now. So that's just a holding coat. It will get fully blasted and painted, and then a few bits where you can see little bits of weld divots from undercut. This once it's been blasted and painted properly, we'll have fairing compound put over it and then painted nicely. We'll have sealing, panel seal go in all these cracks, so she'll be nice and watertight. But very nice. It's good to see it all done. So that's all we got time for this week. The sun's just about to disappear, so it's finally finished. We got there in the end. It was a hard struggle getting this thing done. There are little bits and pieces that we'll have to do on it a bit later, but it's basically done. It needs a full blast of paint, but we'll get to that later. So let us know what you think. It looks a lot more modern, a lot more streamlined. It's a bit more user-friendly, much bigger and wider, so we're much more comfortable in here, I reckon. So yeah, leave a comment and let us know what you think of the Hard Dodger, and if you haven't already, like and subscribe, and we'll see you all next week. Thanks guys.